What's up everyone? So I had another question related with arrangements. That was, can we keep our cacti along with our succulents? Now, to be honest, I wouldn't suggest to keep them together, especially if you are a beginner. Probably if you have years of experience, maybe you can try it out. I am not very sure. I have never kept my cacti along with my succulents, because here we have that same rule. Remember, we have spoken about this earlier as well, that you need to arrange the plants, not only succulents or cacti, any plant. If you're planning to make a tray garden, or if you're planning to make arrangement, you have to have the same plants. You need to have plants that have the same requirements, whether in terms of sunlight or whether in terms of watering. For example, let's say you are planning to make, not talking about succulents right now, let's say that you're planning to make a tray garden and you put in some syngoniums along with very common example, some marigolds. Now if you have put the syngoniums and marigolds together, and let's say you keep that tray garden in shaded area or indirect bright light, because syngoniums do not like direct sunlight. But now you have put in a flowering plant like marigold in your tray garden. Now because there is no direct sunlight, your marigold is not going to bloom or flower, because marigolds require at least 6 to 7, if not 7 to 8 hours of direct sunlight in order for them to bloom. So over here you have failed the arrangement, because one of the plant has the requirement of indirect bright light, other flowering plant has the requirement of direct sunlight. But if you're going to move the tray to direct sunlight, your syngoniums will all get burnt, but whereas your marigold will start to bloom. So there is going to be an issue. So the same thing over here when we are talking about these succulents. If you're going to put your cacti along with your succulents, there is going to be that rule of watering. Your cacti and succulents do not have the same requirement of watering. Now let's say if you have put your cactus along with your succulents and you are not watering them, because cacti does not need a lot of water. So what's going to happen is you will end up damaging your echeverias or your succulents. They will start dropping the leaves because of less watering. There might even be a dry rot. But now let's assume that you are watering as per the succulents, because whenever the soil is dry, you go ahead and do a watering. But now what's going to happen is your cacti will start to rot, because they do not like too much of moisture in the soil. Cacti, you can call them or label them as a proper desert plant, but not our succulents. So with this entire thing, you are going to mess it up. Your arrangement will start to have issues. It is going to look very terrible, because there will be one portion of your plants that are starting to rot, or there are one portion of your plants that are starting to dry out and drop its leaves. So within a couple of months, the arrangement is going to look like a complete mess. So if you are a beginner, even if you have a good amount of experience, I would say keep them in separate pots. That is what I have been doing. And I have never kept my cacti along with my succulents in the same pot. I always tend to keep it separate. Now these I had purchased around 3 years back. I still remember these were my first cacti and I was not very sure about them. Whenever you're not sure about any succulent or any plant, always keep them in an individual pot. So I kept them in individual pot. They receive morning direct sunlight until 10 a.m. and after that there is a lot of indirect bright light. I think this one would require a little bit of watering, because I do see some wrinkles. So that is how I identify that they are in need of water. But other than that, I don't do much. Of course, no fertilizers added at all in 3 years. That's how they have been sitting in. This one also had flowered. This one did not flower, but the other cacti have flowered. This one also has not flowered, but that's absolutely fine. They are doing quite well. They look absolutely stunning. A little bit more wrinkles on this one, so I'll be watering them today. Probably I'll show you how I water them. So yes, please don't mix your cacti along with succulents, because they have a different requirement of watering. And over here I have another one. If you remember, it had put up another pad, so I'll be watering this one as well today. those are my haworthias. They have turned a little bit brown in color because they got exposed to direct sunlight where I had placed them, because I was moving a lot of stuff and I completely forgot to move it, and you can see there's a lot of browning on it. I'll have to take care of it. And then of course I have some pachophytums over here. This is my pachophytum oviferum, which is the well-known moonstone. We have another pachophytum behind. This one, recently, I don't know if you remember, it might have come up in one of the video. It was stretching because of the green shade cloth, but now that the shade cloth is gone off because of the wind, so it started to get a little bit of intensity in the light, so it is starting to get more compact on the crown area. The lower leaves still have that stretch. It will take some time. There are chances of the lower leaves they will retract back again, but right now they look a little bit longer compared to the crown area. This is a perfect example when a succulent previously was not receiving enough amount of light, but now it starts receiving light. So this is how the growth will tend to look like. Let me zoom in so you can see it better. There you go. As you can see, the lower leaves are longer, the crown area is shorter, because now the crown area is receiving a good amount of light, so it no longer needs to stretch its leaves that long. So that's the beauty about succulents. They tend to struggle. They also tend to put enough efforts as much as we put in to grow them. They also give you a complete support in their growth. It's not that they are just going to die off or they are just going to start stretching. So that's all about it, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.